Good morning, marketing, sales, and service seniors. It's me, Mr. Cheney, with another brilliant lecture and tutorial. We are going to continue what we started last week in regard to the job application process and the career development that we've been working on over the past several weeks. To summarize what we were doing last week, we had a notes page, and I'll show that to you now. So the notes page is 1, 2, 3, 4 pages long. Okay, so last week's first lecture is a short one, and we were able to get through page 1, and we did the decastyles.org assessment, and you got results for that. And on Google Classroom, you were to turn it into this assignment, Decastyles results. And if you did so, I should see a file just like this submitted. And so this is my student side account, so you can see, so I can show you what you see. And so the report looks like this. It's a 3 to 4 page report, and it tells you, as far as the 4 styles went, which one you were. So my number for analyzer was 8.5, so I'm mostly analyzer. And so over here on the notes page, what style are you? An analyzer. What career clusters were recommended for you? So that one is a little tricky. So on the report itself, right here, where it talks about DECA competitive events, okay, so it talks about business operations, it talks about finance cluster, it talks about entrepreneurship. So those are some of the things that I would put on my notes page. So I might pick, the finance sector and entrepreneurship stuff. And then describe your style. I don't even mind if you use verbatim what they've got on the report right here. So you could copy and paste this paragraph right here if you'd like. And also you could go to the website. So if you went to decastyles.org, you can actually look at the Decastyles here. So if I'm an analyzer, here's kind of a description. Oops, this one actually. That one I was highlighting is what others see. You might include that too if you like. So you can just copy there, go to the notes, paste there, and we're good to go. And then today we're going to go do the lecture and probably, I think, get through page 2 and maybe some of page 3. So let's see how far we get. I don't want to make the lecture too long. Okay, so let's go back to the PowerPoint here. And so last week, like I said, I introduced you to the mock job that we'll all be filling out an application for, and we're going to build our resume and some reference pages and do the LinkedIn thing. So we're all building towards the final project, which is a mock interview. We won't have a final test, but it'll be mostly this project. There may be like a quiz, on some chapter stuff, but your major final for the class for the first semester will be the mock interview and these documents that we're going to be building in the next few weeks. So on your notes page, just as another, just a review, right here on the career path part, it's asking you to list a job, occupation, and career. So my example during the lecture was we defined the job, we defined what occupation was, we defined career, and here are my samples for my job, my occupation, and my career, so you have to come up with your own. So job is specific, marketing teacher at Bullard High School. Occupation is, a little more broad, marketing teacher, and my career, even broader, is educator. So you find your own example for that. Okay, so moving on, we're going to start at this slide here, and we are going to make sure that you have your notes page open. So all of this should already be filled out, and we're going to start here on page 2. This part I think might actually be related to the Decastyle stuff, so look for that. So we're going to be talking about 21st century skills and the attitudes, and then part of this I believe as well. So let's get into that. So I'm going to open this up again. Let's maximize it, and here we go. So you and your attitude. Okay, It's going to be a big part of going into the job search process as well as keeping a job once you have obtained it. So be prepared to always put in a full day's work, arrive on time, don't abuse breaks, and work your full shift. Those of you who have jobs already probably have already seen some of this stuff, like, you know, people who just come in late and it affects your job schedule, or people like taking longer breaks and you're like trying to wait tables or wherever you work and it affects your work. You want to be a model worker and not one of those guys. Always dress for the position above you unless you wear a uniform, so dress to impress. I remember when I was in high school and I was applying for my Arby's job. That's right, I worked at Arby's when I was a junior and senior in high school, and I showed up for the interview in a shirt and tie. And, you know, first impressions are everything. I got the job, and I've always really believed in dressing to impress as well. You want to listen to constructive criticism with an open mind. That is how you will improve and learn. So constructive criticism is when someone lets you know where you're falling short on something and gives you a way to fix it. So it's way different than just criticizing someone. It's like, hey, I noticed this, and here's how you can fix it. So be open to constructive criticism. Now, let's talk about 21st century skills. 21st century skills are basically what you're going to need for jobs now and into the future. And these are built into our high school objectives and also for Fresno Unified learning, lenses as well. So the 21st century skills are critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, information literacy, media literacy, technology literacy, flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. And so I believe that I did a link right here that'll take us to a website that'll give us more clarity on that. So here were those 12 that I just read off. Those are the 21st century skills. And we have some details about what those mean. And you can break them down into some different categories. So your learning skills are critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Your literacy skills are information, media, and technology. And your life skills are flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. So that's a nice little chart that kind of breaks it up. And so more on this page if you wanted to read like some details on the critical thinking and creativity and those sorts of things. And we will re-examine this website as we're going through some of these documents when we do our resume and that sort of thing. Okay, so moving on, going back to the slide. 7 attitudes to greatness. This right here is a video that I will play now. Seven Attitudes to Greatness by Kevin Burns. Absolutely great information in that video. I agree with pretty much all of it in terms of skills and attitudes and ways of living that will get you to where you want to be. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about job leads. Actually, you know what? Let us go back to the notes page here real quick. And so after having seen the website and talked about 21st century skills and attitudes, okay, on the 21st century skills page that we were on, which is this one here. Okay, so on the notes page, list 3 of the 21st century skills shared with you that you possess and have experience in. Next to each skill, explain how you have demonstrated that skill. So if you were going over here and, oh, that's not the right one, and you're like, okay, creativity. I'm definitely got creativity. So you're going to write in or type in creativity. And you're going to explain why. Like, you know, actually press tab, it looks like. There you go. Press tab to get over to the next line. And maybe you're like really good at Adobe Photoshop because of Miss Querian's class, or you're a drawer or a painter or something like that. So you can put, I am a really good artist and can draw almost anything. Of course, for me, that's absolutely false. I can't draw a thing. But if that's you, then maybe creativity is one of them. So you're going to give me 3 and explain why you possess that. And then the 7 attitudes. List the 7 attitudes and how you can relate on a personal level to each one. So in that video, which I will link, you have it in this video too, so you can rewatch the video. Put all 7 attitudes and how do you relate to those. And now we're going to talk about networks and work-based learning, and maybe get to the marketing stuff, but no, maybe just these last parts. So, going back over here, job leads. Okay, in this day and age, there are all kinds of ways to obtain job leads. Okay, online job sites such as LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, and CareerBuilder are just a few. Networking is a great way to obtain job leads, and DECA is an excellent source for networking, surrounding yourself with like-minded people. So it's really one of the main reasons why we're involving ourselves with DECA, because they're closely aligned with like that networking piece. Doing temporary or seasonal work and volunteering can also lead to job opportunities. Plus, they can be put on applications and resumes. So I've known several people personally who, you know, for the Christmas season might work for UPS or work for Target or Walmart or something like that, and then they're like, hey, you did a really good job during Christmas, we want you to be full-time, and boom, you got yourself a full-time job. So those are definitely different ways of finding that job market that you're looking for. Okay, it's never too early to start building job experience. Many high schools have work-based learning opportunities in the form of jobs, internships, job shadowing, etc. Employment agencies are also an excellent source for jobs. Temp agencies can provide jobs when you're in between jobs looking for full-time career employment. So here at our school, Bullard High School, work-based learning, that's what we do, our class with the Blue Nation Student Store, that is work-based learning. Also, going back to like the job shadowing, earlier in the year, like right at the beginning of the year, I offered a job shadowing experience for HP, and there's actually a couple more coming up. In fact, I'll tell you about one in class today, I believe. I think it didn't pass already, so I'll tell you about that. It's for a finance company. So job shadowing is great because you can get like a realistic job preview of what that job is really like. So those are some different ways that you can get some experience for jobs. And I think that's where we're going to end things today, because that'll get us through that page that I wanted to get through. Let me just make sure I'm right. So on the notes page, we will have gone through this. We will have gone through the 21st century skills. We will have gone through the 7 attitudes. we talked about networking and where to find a job. And then right here, I answered this question about the Blue Nation Student Store. So now we will be on page 3 the next time that we do this. We'll do page 3 and 4. So make sure you have this notes page filled out. Basically, we've covered information for both pages 1 and pages 2 on this notes page.